Good morning, beautiful people. Monday, May 25th. Took 2 days off over the weekend after Learn from Suffering, and I'm back. Today is day 1 of Control Your Environment, which means it's day 64. Day 64 of an online journey I created 5 years ago. Whole purpose, thinking about thinking, finding joy out of suffering. For those that have been joining along, this has been an incredible journey where we started off talking about the history of fear, moving into Don Miguel Ruiz's 5 agreements. Be impeccable with your word, always do your best, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and listen but be skeptical, really wrapping them all together. Then we talked a little bit about the importance of filtering our senses. We are physical beings that are being bombarded with messages from all around us constantly. And we talked about how to overcome fear through the definiteness of purpose, master yourself. Last week was Learn from Adversity. Learn from Adversity is a powerful week. And from here on in, we move into using everything that we've talked about and how to make those small changes in order to truly succeed. So today's day 64. That means there's been 63 days previous of little tidbits and information about how to really think about thinking. And the whole thing as we go through is finding joy out of suffering. And it's interesting because last night Calvin and I watched Les Mis, the movie from 2012. And all through history, we have evolved through suffering. We don't like it when we're in it, but because of it is how we evolve. And how our society looks today is not how it's going to look in a year from now. We are going to be different. That is the only thing that matters. And through this whole journey, it's all about learning the difference between ego and spirit. I think about, for those who remember the Flintstones character, the little gizmo alien person that would talk on Fred's shoulder, and there was the good version, there was the bad version. I think so many cartoons and movies have exemplified that positive, negative voice that's there, and that is ego versus spirit. Ego, the only word ego has is no, more, faster, stronger. Where spirit is all about be still and let spirit take over. And today's lesson this week, as we start week 10, which is incredible for me of this journey, I started with a quote. And it's Dr. B.J. Fogg, director of the Stanford Persuasive Lab, Stanford University. And he once said, there's just one way to radically change your behavior, radically change your environment. You change your behavior by changing your environment. And that's the basis of radical understanding, is when we can get to the root of allowing spirit and silencing ego, we find freedom. Most of us think that our habits and our thoughts set our intentions. But I've said this over the years. I don't care how many times you write it out and self-affirm it, you will never become a chicken, the bird, by sitting in a chicken coop. It doesn't happen. You also don't become a fish stick by just putting the fish inside the freezer. The truth is that the mind's chief functions is to spot and utilize patterns as shortcuts. Humans, we're all about the shortcuts. And once we find the shortcuts, it helps us find the multitude of information that is presented to us. We are more reliant on environmental triggers than we think we are, or that we're willing to admit we are. The environments we live in will either inspire us or expire us. Think about that one. The environments we live in will either inspire us or expire us. They facilitate our success, or they deter from our success. They energize us, or they drain us. They relax us, or they stress us. At the end of the day, we have control. I've lived by a motto: I will not say yes to something unless I'm being cognizant of what I'm saying no to. And that, a lot of the time, comes to that phone call you might answer, that email you might answer. What can you control? And the only thing that you can do to transform an environment is to either add something, a new person, a new equipment, a new belief, or delete something. Delete a negative person. Delete that TV program that drains you. Delete that self-limiting behavior. Or you can modify it. Setting boundaries, painting a room, changing what you eat, changing what you watch. These are all things that you have control over. So your environment, you can either add to it, or delete from it, or modify it. And until tomorrow, I hope you're all safe and well. I hope that you have a great day. It's very sunny and going to be very hot here. And until tomorrow, be kind to yourself and to others.